Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining us today here on America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates with Jeremy Baker and Dave Ross. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. It's 419-794-3030, online at arhq.com. We're a couple days early, I know, but I do want to wish everyone out there, it is my favorite holiday after all. Happy holiday. If you talk to any experienced trick-or-treater, they likely know where the homes are that give out the good candy, especially the king-size candy bars, and they'll probably return next year to get that same satisfying, long-lasting treat. What does this have to do with retirement? Well, in retirement, annuities are much like getting that reliable full-size bar, but in the form of guaranteed income. You can buy your own candy bars with that, I suppose. So is an annuity the right treat for somebody's retirement plan?
I think when we start talking about annuities, what we're really talking about is reliable income. And when we do a retirement team action plan for you and we implement the independent income system, one of the key pillars of that system is coming up with what is the reliable income that we can count on. If you have a pension, that would count. If you have Social Security benefits, that would count. In many cases, if you purchase an annuity with part of your retirement savings, that also would count. So when we put together the retirement team action plan in the category reliable income, we want to know that we have enough money in that reliable income bucket to be able to pay all of the basic standard costs of living, which could be housing, food, shelter, the basics. Then we would implement the rest of the retirement savings to factor in for future needs and for inflation hedges. So an annuity makes a lot of sense from a standpoint of it provides a guaranteed income for life. I think, Jeremy, the one thing that is the big decision for most clients is what type of annuity should I consider for that part of my income plan?
That's a really good question. And, for the listeners out there are different types of annuities out there. There's variable annuities, fixed annuities. And some companies are, consider annuities like a four-letter word. They would not use them at any point. Mm-hmm. I think what an annuity does is like Dave mentioned, it gives you lifetime income. An annuity protects you from living too long, whereas life insurance protects you if you pass away early. One of the biggest areas that I use the annuities in is, Dave mentioned a pension. A lot of folks have what's called a lump sum option in their pension, and they can either turn on the annuity themselves or they can put the lump sum, a portion of the pension, into an annuity and create their own private pension. Depending on who you work for, would you rather have them or the government kind of control your money or have control of it yourself? And I find with a lot of our clients, the answer is I'd rather control it myself.
And for those who don't have the luxury of a pension, because those have gone by the wayside, this is a way to create that pension-like income. We talk about the importance of guaranteed income so often because the bills don't stop in retirement. Obviously, if you have paid off your mortgage, that's fantastic, but you still have to pay for utilities. You still have to, you got to eat, things like that. You are going to have monthly expenditures. So this is something to help cover those essential expenses. But as far as discretionary income, because it's not an all-or-nothing situation when it comes to annuities, right? You don't want all of your money tied into one strategy or another, but finding that right blend because the growth potential in the market, as well as the volatility, it's something that can't be discounted, can it?
No, and I would also add that there are annuities that exist today that actually offer you insurance against downside.
Okay.
I've actually come across a variable annuity that will protect you like the first, and you can choose this benefit. It will protect you for either a 10% up to a 10% market loss or a 20% market loss. And if you have that situation, the insurance company makes your account good. Now, if you have a 20% buffer and the market drops 23%, you only experience a 3% loss of your principal value. But I would also say that, with the popularity of fixed indexed annuities, those give you the opportunity to participate in the market, but really manages what happens to your money on the downside, which, there's a lot of people who make the case that, well, you have no downside because the worst you can do with a fixed index is a 0% return. That may be true in some cases, but it does protect you from downside, because a lot of people buy annuities not for current income, but they might be buying them for a future income stream to be able to factor in a pay raise for themselves throughout the retirement life cycle. So you have protected lifetime income. It can protect growth. Coming back to fixed index, if the market goes up 12% in a year, a lot of indexed annuities have a cap that's attached to it, which means the insurance company will allow you to participate to a certain point, and it could be 6%, it could be 7%, it could be 8%. It's kind of dictated by contract, but if you have a cap, that helps you on the upside, but on the downside, it means that your downside protection, you might not have a situation where you will lose money. So between growth, income, and the ability to tax defer the earnings within the annuity, you've got some key benefits that will really play in the investor's favor as they proceed down to retirement time.
Let me just add one more thing to that. If you have an annuity now and you'd like to know what your caps are, what your participation rate is, I had a client come in a couple weeks ago. They had a 13% spread on their annuity. And what that means is the market had to get 14 for them to get 1. He had this thing for 8 years. I think it made money 1 out of the 8 years. And the other thing is it's non-qualified money, which means it's not in a retirement account. So if you have an annuity, and we talked about tax loss harvesting earlier, if you have an annuity that's non-qualified and you cash it in, and let's say you did something else with it, you would owe the taxes on that. So if you have questions on your annuity, want to figure out what the cost is, what the spreads are, the cap rates, and the most tax efficient way to exchange those products, you should probably give us a call.
And that number is 419-794-3030 to do that. Think of annuities as, obviously they are financial vehicles, but think of them as a tool. If you go to the hardware store and you have a certain project in mind, there are tools out there that will benefit you and make it easier for you to accomplish that project. In the same sort of way, when it comes to your retirement plan, there are features of annuities that could benefit you one way or another, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Now, it does not need to be the only tool that you've got in your toolbox. It may not even necessarily be a tool that you need in your strategy at all, but having that conversation with the guys at America's Retirement Headquarters to shine a little light on that, you might have a tool in your toolbox that you don't even know why you got it, an older annuity like Jeremy talked about there. But just getting a little bit of clarification, showing if it could be right for you, if you already have one in place, and you find out that maybe that's not suitable, being able to explore other options out there, that is the benefit that you get, the 50-plus years of experience from the team at America's Retirement Headquarters can bring to the table to see if it could be a valuable part of your retirement strategy. You just have to take the first step, reach out, and give a call. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. Once again, 419-794-3030, or you can find them online, and that is at arhq.com.